Alright, welcome back. In this video we're looking at one of the 2020 Epiphone models. This is the 61 SG Standard with Maestro Vibrola. We'll talk about the specs of this guitar, this particular example. We'll hear the guitar with some tone tests, and then talk positives and negatives coming up. Hey, as always, if you enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to get notified when new videos come out. You can also sign up at jimmyparagalloguitar.com for some free downloads, including the jam track from this video. This example of the SG comes in the cherry finish. Epiphone calls it a vintage cherry, and it weighs in at 7 pounds 10 ounces. Starting from the headstock, we have the Kalamazoo inspired headstock shape, which is a nice feature for this model year. You have the Epiphone logo with the crown emblem and a blank truss rod cover. The tuners are Epiphone's deluxe vintage tuners, 18:1 ratio. On the back, they're stamped Epiphone Deluxe. Also on the back of the headstock, you have QC stickers along with the stamped serial number. Moving down, as with the other Epiphone models that we've reviewed, we have a Graphtec nut set up nicely. And specifically on this guitar, because of the Maestro Vibrola, there's no binding or sticking issues with the nut, so that's nice. Onto the neck and fingerboard. The neck is made of mahogany and it has a slim taper shape. Now, even compared to the 60s Les Paul, this neck is a bit thinner, and certainly compared to the 50s Les Paul, it's considerably thinner. Not bad, just again, neck shape is always a matter of personal preference, so you can try it out to see what you would prefer. Here are the neck depth dimensions on this guitar. At the first fret, we have 0.83 inches, about 21 millimeters, and the 12th fret depth, 0.88 inches, about 22 millimeters. The fingerboard is Indian Laurel with 22 medium jumbo frets, pearloid trapezoid inlays. Of course, these Epiphones have been getting a bad rap with the QC as far as the fretwork goes. I would say this one's on par with the 50s LP that I reviewed. Pretty solid. No major issues. I'd say it's better than the 60s Les Paul that I looked at. Here are the fingerboard width dimensions. At the nut, we have 1.69 inches, about 43 millimeter. 12th fret, 2.09 inches, about 53 millimeters. And the end of the board, 2.28 inches, about 58 millimeters. Looking at the body, of course, you have the classic SG double cutaway shape. This is vintage cherry finish again. Nothing vintage about it in particular. It's a gloss finish, but that's the name of it, vintage cherry. And there are two veneers on the mahogany body, one on the top and one on the back, which you can see pictured. Interesting spec here. Here's the thickness of the body as measured at the upper cutaway. 1.49 inches, about 38 millimeters. The hardware is unique on this model. It does have the same nickel finish to the hardware and the same Epiphone branded ABR Locktone bridge as the other models we've looked at. But of course, unique to this one is the Maestro Vibrola as the tailpiece. So that's a pretty cool feature and one that's a little bit different. Now for the electronics, the specs do list this as having a ProBucker 2 in the neck and a Probucker 3 in the bridge. Let's see if that holds up. Check out what's in this guitar. In the neck, we have PB2 NHBN-4-2, dated December 2019. And in the bridge, PB3 NHBB-4-2, also dated December 2019. Both pickups are stamped, designed by Epiphone USA. Here are the pickup readings inside the guitar. The neck, 7.9K, and the bridge pickup, 8.46K. The wiring looks to be the same as the 60s Les Paul with the small red caps, and these are advertised with CTS electronics. Let's take a look at what's in this guitar. Here are the specs on the volume pots. CTS L500K, the numbers on them 450S3618 and 1946, and the tone pots CTS A500K, and the numbers on them 450S3617, 1946. Alright, with all of the specs covered, let's hear this guitar. We'll do the tone tests and then talk positives and negatives. For these tests, we'll run straight into a Fender Princeton reverb, into the Universal Audio aux box, and then into my audio interface. We'll start with a clean tone through each pickup setting. Now let me take you through a sweep of the controls, both volume and tone, for each pickup, and after that we'll add some gain to the sound and test out the tone. Let's talk positives on this guitar. Now, I will admit I'm not a huge SG fan. My brother is, though. You can check out his channel right here for guitar-related content from a different perspective. But I will say I did want to try out this guitar really for the fun of it and for the fun of the tailpiece, because I was curious to see how Epiphone did with this version. As with the other Epiphone models, though, I will say the nut tuners are on point. It plays well, comfortable, and it's pretty much a smooth feel overall. Now, as far as negatives go, no major finish issues, no bumps like were found on that 50s Les Paul. But the pickguard, we could say, is probably a little bit rough around the edges. And I will say, as far as some of the black marks on the binding is concerned, both the 60s Les Paul and the 50s have this same thing. Maybe it's from something with the way the fingerboard might be dyed. I'm not totally sure, but at times it is visible on the binding. This one probably has the most of that particular issue. There's not discoloration all over the binding on the neck, but you do notice it in certain places. I will say that it is a fun guitar, though, with a certain vibe, and even if you don't use the Maestro tailpiece, I feel like it adds a little bit of extra character to this unique body shape. Thanks again for all of your support. Hit me with your thoughts in the comment section down below, and be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this, and I'll see you in the next one.